Hey, it's Mark Lane with your video thought for the day. Yeah, we're ending week 2 of Cliche Week, where I'll put that phrase out there and ask you, trite or true? I've got one for today, and if you looked at the title, you already know what it is. I may try to confuse you a little with the title. But regardless, I want to look at it as trite or true. Now, if you're watching this even remotely to when I'm filming it, which is the middle of July, then the odds are it's stinking hot outside where you are. At least in the United States it is right now. And there are all sorts of cliches that come to mind about how hot it is outside. But the cliche that I'm talking about today is not one of those. I'm talking about the cliche, nobody's perfect. And I ask you, is that trite or is that true? The answer, if we look at it from a biblical perspective, is it's true. Nobody is perfect. My kids used to sing this Hannah Montana song, Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, but it's entitled Nobody's Perfect. And Hannah actually, or Miley actually has a good grasp of a very biblical concept here. I'm not saying all of her songs have a good grasp of a biblical concept, but she got it on this one. If you look back at the Psalms, that great wealth of Old Testament poetry that express such a range of human emotions, if you go back to the Psalms, Psalm 14, the first 3 verses make this point. And those verses say that the Lord looks down from heaven on the children of humanity. And the Lord looks down to see if there's anybody who understands, anybody who's really seeking after God. And the psalmist gives the answer. The psalmist says, they've all turned aside. Together, they've become corrupt. There's no one who does good, not even one. And you may be thinking, well, I'm not that bad. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I wouldn't use the word corrupt. Well, I mean, in terms of what humanity was mean to be as an image bearer of God, as someone who you look at and you say, oh, that's what God looks like. You know, that's the image of God. I see it being born by that person. All of us are corrupt. I think it may have been Martin Luther who said, even the best human deed is tainted with at least a little bit of selfishness. So this is a biblical concept. Nobody's perfect. Paul, by the way, quotes this to the Romans. He quotes Psalm 14, verses 1 through 3. Go back to Romans chapter 3, and he says, as it is written, he's talking about in Psalm 14, none is righteous, no, not one. No one understands. No one seeks for God. So nobody's perfect. Now, having said that, sometimes this cliche might turn into a crutch that we use in an effort to excuse us from making good moral decisions. We're confronted with A or B. A is a good thing, B is a bad thing. And we say, well, nobody's perfect, I might as well go B. No, now that's not the proper use of the phrase. The phrase itself is right, but we should never use that phrase as an excuse or a crutch to do something wrong. So to quote Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, everybody makes mistakes, everybody has those days, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. Yes, it's a biblical phrase. Nobody's perfect. Take that into your weekend and still do the best you can. And I'll see you next week. But that is your video thought for today.